Hello, welcome to the Norwegian Laft Hus in downtown Red Deer in the beautiful Heritage Square Park. The Laft Hus is a tourist attraction due to our wonderful sod roof, a museum due to our many artifacts, and also a cultural center as we have a library, programs, many possibilities to learn all about yours and our culture. Please come into the Laft Hus. Let's have a look.
Now that we're inside, I have a few artifacts and a couple stories that I would love to share. So the outfit that I am currently wearing is called a bunad. So bunads are the traditional Norwegian dress, and they're typically worn on special occasions such as weddings, as well as May 17th, which is Norway's Constitution Day. So the first artifact that I have here is called a Tine. So tinas are typically used as little storage containers. They come in a variety of sizes, and they were also sometimes used as a lunchbox for workers on the farm. They have a very interesting locking mechanism where if I hold it like this, the lid stays on, but I can also easily pull it off. We kind of call it Norwegian magic because it doesn't seem like it should work. The next artifact that I have here is called an ale bowl. So it's kind of in the name, it's used to hold ale. And typically Vikings, when they would win a battle, they would actually take their enemies' skulls and they would hollow them out and carve them out. And then they would actually drink from them and they would say skull instead of cheers. So it was kind of like a celebration. Nowadays they're made out of wood and they're sometimes used for weddings and stuff like that. We've actually loaned this one out to a couple of weddings. This next artifact here is called a mangleboard or a mangleter. So it was actually used to press out damp cloth, kind of like a form of ironing. They would just kind of use it to press out any wrinkles or folds in the cloth. But it was also used to be a proposal gift. So if a man wanted to propose to a woman, he would actually carve a board and he would leave it on her doorstep, and she had 3 days to decide if she wanted to bring it inside and accept the proposal or leave it outside and reject the proposal. So if she did reject it, he actually had to go and collect it and bring it back with him. Kind of a harsh rejection, a little bit of a walk of shame, but then he wasn't allowed to reuse any of the boards he carved. The idea was that they're very intricate, they take a long time to carve, it's supposed to be a very intentional proposal, and we have a little saying around here that's, beware of the man with many mangle boards. It means he's been rejected a couple too many times. So over here, we have a couple different plates. The styles that you can see here are both done in a rose mauling style. So rose mauling generally translates to rose painting, and it's a Scandinavian and specifically Norwegian type of painting. So we have a couple recognizable styles here. This one here is done in a symmetrical style, so everything kind of has to stay even and the same throughout. And then this one here is a C stroke, and it just centers around that C shape right there. And most of our rose mauling in this building is actually done by members and ladies here, so everything for the most part is very local. Our artifact right here, this is called a primstaven. It's actually a calendar stick. So they would make these to keep track of special events, any holidays, and any harvests throughout the year. So these little notches that you can see at the bottom here, they actually represent days, and then the notches along the edge here represent weeks. And there's actually a spring and summer side and then a fall and winter side. So each half of the stick represents half of a year. So last but not least, we have this chair, which is called a kubestall. So kubestalls are actually carved out of large logs, and they hollow them out inside, and then they carve out the shape of a chair. And this one is very intricately carved, as you can see around the base here, but they're also sometimes very nicely painted. They were typically seen as a man's lazy boy. They'd belong to the head of the house, and they would usually sit in front of the fireplace or beside the bed. And then according to Viking legend, they would actually take these on their ships with them. And once they were ready to find land and find safety, they would actually toss them overboard into the water. And they had this superstition that by following behind it, it would actually lead them to land and keep them safe. There is a little bit of science behind this. It would actually tend to follow the natural currents of the water towards land, and it would also avoid any large obstacles and shallow areas in the water. So it was keeping them safe, just not necessarily for the reasons that they believed it was. And then when they found land and got where they were going, they just pick it back up, put it in their ship, and continue on with their journey. So the Laft Hus was actually built to be modeled after an 18th century Norwegian farmhouse. You can see these stairs behind me here, where actually originally there would be a ladder going up to the loft instead. Let's go take a look at what's upstairs in the loft. So this is our loft. We have a few artifacts up here, but it's also primarily made to be a kids area. So we have some costumes, we have some games, and we also have some swords and shields that you can take outside and battle with. The Norwegian Laft Hus is home to over 100 different artifacts and so many different stories. We are also home to the Norwegian Laft Hus Society, and we are always welcoming new members, Norwegian or not. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Tusen takk!
A huge thank you to Bruce and Willow for such an awesome presentation. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next adventure. Hey, I'm Mike. Take care. See you on the next one.